Thanks everyone, and Yura, which in our Jandar language is hello. And first of all, I would like to also respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners on the country here of where we're meeting, and also my ancestors, our Quandamooka ancestors and elders who have gone before us and in the present and emerging. So thank you. And in honouring our ancestors, I'd like to share a bit of my story about our beautiful connection to country, our place of belonging, which we'll get into now with the slides. I'm Sonja anyway, I think I introduced myself. So in terms of our beautiful connection to country, I thought it was fitting to start with that place of belonging slide. And courtesy of Glennie, we have a map of Minjirribah upside down if you turn it around. See, it's actually the shape of Minjirribah.
Wow.
And I guess what inspires me every day is the land and the sea and the sands where we are very lucky to live, and also family. And that's Lisi in the pit there, standing strong beside, as always. And Simon, acknowledge my boy here too, and Frey, who's not with us today. So having our family and connections, spiritual connections to country and place of belonging and identity is very, very strong, and feeling connected. So if we move along to the next slide, you can almost see the spirit. Minjirribah. Yeah, which if you have a look at that, so we're still on that first slide. If you turn it up, you can actually see the shape of the map of the island, which up the top is Gumpi Dunwich, and across to Poolan at the top, and then it goes to Flinders. Do you know those parts of Straddie? And then if you go round, that little corner is Point Lookout on the end. That's where we took this photo. Okay, so moving on to the next photo now, you can see another beautiful aspect of our connection, and it's a Ngugi strong connection to our Mulgumpin, which is Moreton Island. You can see Minjirribah to the right and Mulgumpin to the left, which is also part of our really strong Ngugi connection to country, Mulgumpin, Moreton Island. And that was once joined, but you can see that over time and stories, that connection has brought our Ngugi people to Minjirribah, North Stradbroke Island as well. So having that very strong ancestral ties, and 3 clan groups who make up the Quandamooka people, who are the Ngugi, Nunakal and Garumpal people. And we belonged with the Ngugi people from Mulgumpin, Moreton Island. So I think that's a beautiful photo. Lisi and I were on a plane, and Lise took it from above, and you can just see those arms reaching out, and stretching and connecting and embracing lots. So can you hear me okay without that bit? So third slide along is a very significant place where we know as Maloomba, which is Point Lookout, where we live today, and was where the so-called first arrival was. There was a plaque there in honour of Captain Cook, who took a look. And and recently on Australia Day, we had the beautiful artist from home deface that plaque and cook a big steak on it, so a big T-bone, and poor thing had to go to court. But anyway, it's good to have that acknowledgement that there is no real presence of our cultural significance except our story and our connections, which over time will change hopefully, and see lots of things happening with the transition that's happening now, which is causing a lot of discussion, debate, whatever. So that's the slide on number 3. In terms of inspiration, we're moving along to the next one. Every day walking on that beautiful beach and in the sand, see the stories of the sea washing up on country here, the beautiful patterns in the sands, they're just so powerful. And I see that connection with the waters and the land come in. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, about materials, our abundance of materials on country as well. So if I move on to the next slide, it might be easier to talk about that beautiful history and feeling of connection to our ancestral hands that make our baskets that are only till now only evidence has been in museum collections, and internationally and nationally. And as you can see, that's the reed that's been tested in the British Museum at Kew Gardens as coming from Stradbroke Island, and that's we know as Ungair, which is our swamp reed. It grows in the freshwater swamp, and you can see the colours are amazing. And it just glides out when you gather it, you know, and it's very strong. It's also very subtle, you know, and it can make you bleed. It can make you, it can do lots of things with learning to work with it, which I've discovered along the way. In more ways than one, So as part of that, looking and walking on country and feeling our ancestral footsteps in those hands making the bags, you know, that are full of knowledge that, still exist today, is wonderful to have them there. So somehow they ended up in those places with some, really incredible journeys. For example, one saying from the scene of a massacre in Moreton Bay, and others having other derogative terminology. But anyway, we won't go there right now. So it's beautiful to just look at the bags, the reeds still growing, and know how strong they are, embedded in our deep roots, embedded in country still today. And here's Lisi and my mum and me in the next slide. Freya was there taking that, always guiding us too, but part of that process in gathering the reeds. So you can see the length of the reeds, how beautiful and strong and long, and one of our aunties, our senior elders, used to say, she remembers the granny saying, only take the ones with the pink bottoms. They're the strong and mature ones. And another important part of that process is the seasonal, the cultural protocol around just taking what we need and allowing enough time for the reeds to regenerate. So over time they get picked and used, and then I usually go in winter time. I prefer to leave the snakes be, in summer when it's walking into that swamp, that muddy swamp, so that's where they come out of on the banks. So you can see on the next slide, I've got some of it here. We've got some amazing fibres that just on our coastline, the tawalpin, which is wild hibiscus, which is the cotton tree, and it still grows strong as, and it's used traditionally for string making, and with some of the outer bark, and then working with it to spin it into string, it's so strong. We had multiple uses for a diverse range of things, for weapons, for adornment, for bags, everything, for hunting, for dugong nets, and amazing, the resources that are still in abundance fibre-wise on country. So that's the tawalpin. And then the next slide, if we go across to what weaves its way to the shores of Minjirrabah, is this stuff here, this marine debris that washes up on country. And I just find it amazing. It's exactly how it comes out of the ocean, washed, sea sprayed and cleaned, or not always, but you can see we just got a net on Friday walking on Home Beach, which is a very used beach, busy beach, and stuff still washes up from the trawlers or wherever that have been either lost or discarded at sea. So that stuff, while it's beautiful to work with, it also has a huge impact on our marine life and our, the sacred waters there of Minjirrabah and Quandamooka country. So this stuff, while it's colourful, and as you can see, it tricks turtles and things into thinking it's squid or whatever, their food, and birds get caught their wings in it, and it's just sad, finding a dead turtle on the beach, or seeing a bird try to raise and take off, and seen it stranded in string in plastic fibre, whereas once we had our beautiful dugong nets made from the natural tawalpin, was strong and natural and the same. Next slide. Okay. So moving along from marine debris, it's a big part of this, the whole journey of it's been regenerating our Quandamooka weaving is the support of family and that inspiration that comes and connection with family and encouragement from my ones here. And Freya, who's a curator as well, and Lisi, who's an amazing artist, and Simon, who's very much into designing in his own way. It's beautiful. So getting it, and strength from Glitty, who comes on these big, we do these big walks, and like that. Amazing what we bring home in a half an hour, when the supermarket's open. It's shocking, really, really shocking what washes up, balloons, 3 kilos in one. There'll be like a balloon skin and then the twine off the balloon and the circular plastic disc, and they just, wander across from a ceremony or something, or a football match or a funeral, and end up, having to come back down again in the ocean. So then they come in like jellyfish, weave their way to the shore. So yeah, that kind of stuff is all, really quite present still. So we have these beautiful natural fibres, and then we have this amazing, washed up stuff that, comes in regularly, depending on the tides and currents and the storms, Yeah, but it's really, I love repurposing it too, so you can see how vibrant it is, the stuff that comes out, no treatment needed, whereas the reeds take a lot of processing and understanding and respect. So the next slide is with Freya and myself at a wonderful Quandamooka regeneration of our Quandamooka weaving with community. We had an exhibition called Gathering Strands, and anyone who'd like to look at the catalogue after with all our work, and other fibre artists from southeast Queensland, Indigenous, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists were invited to be part of it too, as well as our Quandamooka women. So we went on country and had a series of workshops to work on, the rebirth of our weaving, and it was amazing, really amazing, coming to full circle again. So as part of that, you see in that picture the bags. Can you see the two little bags? They're from the Anthropology Museum at University of Queensland. So they are in the collection there. There's a whole series of them. And moving on to the next slide, you'll see one of the bags. I've worked really hard to understand the making of it, and through trial and error. This is one of my first and second ones, and I've since made another two, which I now feel that this one in this picture's going to be part of an exhibition on Australian environmental histories in the National Museum. But it feels wonderful to have rediscovered our old knot. You can see the diagonal knot that's in the bags. It's unique to Quandamooka, to Stradbroke Island bags. So those bags were traditionally used for a range of roles and functions, and spiritual and cultural and ritual and gathering and nurturing and stuff. So as well as those pre-contact bags, sadly with colonisation came the supposedly cultural erasure of our practices, our cultural practices, including language, weaving, corroboree, song and dance. All of those things were meant to be excluded from everyday life. So it feels wonderful to have that reconnection. It's felt so good learning those old ways again, and so you can see the loop, it's in there, the knot's back, it's got our traditional weaving as well as our mission day weaving, which was the introduction of coiling, crocheting, which was a universal technique and become more decorative, it'll be ornamental now and or whatever else. But anyway, that's kind of feels great to have gone full circle, and work back to our traditional way at the heart of it, at the core. So and those are the pieces that are in shared connections, with Brisbane City Council and Blaklash beautiful work doing on this project. So it's an honour to be part of that, and walked through town yesterday, and I was interesting. I saw, if you go to the next slide, it's also with the same materials at Wash Up Country, and Troy and Amanda have curated it really well. So all the rubbish, all the marine debris that underneath the layers was spitting out, and this guy was standing there with his woman, and he said, this is perfectly curated. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, is this stuff really from the ocean? I said, we gathered it with our own. Yes, it is, and it's my work out of the way, and perfectly curated. Like there was, it's just as is, and we've got this a mountain of it. That's just the tip of the ice of the ocean. Hey, drop in the ocean, that bit. So he was kind of saying, gee, I'm glad I wasn't saying anything derogative, but I thought even just questioning when it's so important, just removing that stuff, and what goes with that. And then I guess the last slide is a celebration of our Yarlingbilla, our whale tail. It's our whales re-entering our waters after also, surviving that injustice of, like the marine debris, of being dumped at sea, and the whales are being hunted, and slaughtered up until the 1960s or so. So seeing them feeling comfortable and safe to pass through our culturally, our waters again, and there's a big process happening at the moment to have a knowledge centre around that, whale interpretation place. But we just love sitting on the headland and watching them come by, and it is so beautiful. Till dark sometimes. We've sat there, Glenn and I, and just watched them in awe coming home. They head north and they come back with their babies and sit there and have a meeting with Buangana, our dolphins, and it's just the most beautiful experience if you get to do it in between July, August, September. But the coming home more September, hey, heading south, yeah, and that was a time when my dad was passing, so it was very special to that journey, yeah, and the calves, you know, going home on that journey too, yeah, so that stays at home with us, that beautiful piece, yeah, I'm not parting with that, but anyway, it's special, yeah, Yallingbilla, you're a Yallingbilla, welcoming our whales back, yeah.
And that's it.